What's up YouTube? Skin Spotlights just released a video with all of Naafiri's quotes, so let's check them out. Before the video begins, I want to say that I posted this little challenge on Twitter, asking who could figure out what the X, Y, and Z meant for these Runeterra champions, and Adri over here was the only one to respond, but also got it right at first try. So shout out to them. I plan to make more of these challenges in the future, so consider following me on Twitter.
Wretched Yordle, what's the point of chasing something that doesn't try?
So yeah, Naafiri is going to have a couple quotes against mid laners, because that's the role that she's supposed to be played in-game.
Stubborn Aatrox, so driven to die.
Yeah, in case you don't know, Aatrox's whole point, well, what he wants is to die. He wants to be free from the curse that binds him to his weapon. Unfortunately, the weapon is indestructible, so the curse can be lifted, and thus he cannot die.
Focus your rage, Aatrox. The pack needs you.
Okay. I think this is just a reference how Naafiri wants to unite the Darkin, right? They want them all to be one pack.
How fast can you run, cat?
First encounter cat. Okay, so I'm assuming Nidalee, Hengar, and Yuumi?
Still struggling with your vessel, Ross. How unfortunate.
Or Rast, right? Still can't fully possess a teenage boy. Or I guess Kane's probably not a teenager, but still.
Ross, is that you? Love the new vessel. Targonians.
So yeah, Targonians were the ones that gave the mortals the means to either kill or seal the Darkin into weapons. So that's why she hates them.
It smells of the desert winds. It is Shuriman.
Obviously, Naafiri, even before becoming a Darkin, and even before becoming a Shuriman Ascended, she had to be a Shuriman. And she's probably the Darkin most tied to Shurima out of all we have in game.
You always were the reasonable one, Varus, so back away.
Interesting. Some background on who Varus used to be.
Do not pity us, Varus. We are now greater.
Again, very interesting to see how she probably used to have some kind of relationship with Varus, as all the Darkin knew each other from the times when they were God Warriors.
Still some meat on those metal bones.
Again, another mid
A
laner.
wolf with no pack. No wonder you howl. Yordle. We should thank you, Maisha. You showed us the way.
Okay, so first of all, Zoe is not Maisha. Maisha is the previously host of the Targonian aspect of Twilight, which is now whose host is now Zoe. But just like Aatrox, she has a couple quotes against Zoe, it seems. And what she's trying to say here is that it was thanks to being sealed in the dagger, and then the dagger being touched on by multiple dogs, that Naafiri found out how having multiple beings united to a single purpose can make like whatever they want to do more successfully, right? If they want to dominate the world, it's much easier if they try to do it together, in Naafiri's case.
Calloused by the burning sands of Shuriman, what can harm us in this place?
Again, Naafiri is the Darkin most tied to Shurima out of all that are in the game.
One mind spread among many vessels. This is the way of the pack.
Okay, and I think this is really cool. It's one of those examples of having a line in-game that tells you a lot about the champion's background. In this case, it's telling that Naafiri's mind or soul or whatever was spread amongst all the dogs. That even though you are playing as this different looking dog, all the dogs share the same soul or the same mind.
The Darkin rise, 5 sets of teeth in a ravenous maw.
Okay, this is very interesting. It's again another reference to the five Darkin. I'll probably make a video about this in the future, but the five Darkin were initially mentioned all in the old Aatrox lore when he was the only Darkin in the game. Then Kane was released, and Rast also had a quote mentioning the five. Then came Varus's comic, where he also mentions uniting the five. Then, and all of this made the fans believe that there were only five Darkin left, which made sense. But then Legends of Runeterra came and was like, nope, there's a bunch of Darkin out there. And then the Mage Seeker came and it was like, no, wait, but there's still like five Darkin. And we don't really know what these five Darkin, represent. We know that they are Varus, Aatrox, Naafiri, and Rast, and potentially maybe Zolani from the Mage Seeker node. Again, we are not quite sure. There's also the mention here of a Ravenous Maw. I'm not really sure if she's referring to herself or if this is like a common enemy of these five Darkin. Again, we just don't really have all the information. It's just all speculation.
It's not the strongest who survive. It's the most united.
Again, this is a good reference to her lore.
What chance will the world have when the Darkin Hunters won?
Another one?
I could have led them. I could have dominated. But there is no I. Only we.
Yeah, again, from her bio, we know that she saw herself as the most powerful out of all the Darkin. We don't know if this is true. Again, the bios are usually from the perspective of the champion itself. So she could be arrogant. All Darkin were.
Ego is an illusion. A survival trick for a feeble mind.
Yeah, a theme in Naafiri's narrative is that she sacrificed the ego, the sense of self, for a pack. Essentially, she is not one being anymore. She's multiple.
That which cannot die will in time devour all.
Oh, this is interesting. So, yeah, technically the Darkin cannot die, so they might rule the world again. I think that's basically what she's implying here.
Sunborn, but pack raised.
Sunborn is another name for the Shuriman god warriors, the ones who eventually became the Darkin.
A Dune Hound leaves nothing, not even the bones.
Dunehound is the species of the animals that she is possessing right now.
There is no alpha, there is only the pack.
Again, even though we see here a different looking dog than the other ones that follow her, they are all Naafiri.
Together, we ascend once more.
Naafiri was once an ascended, a Shuriman god warrior, so that's what she means by ascending again. She already ascended once when she transformed into a god warrior. Yeah, so most of her quotes are just generic or filler, which makes sense. But the ones that have lore are quite interesting. I'm especially intrigued by the one about the Darkin, the five Darkin, and especially who she's referring to when she says Ravenous Maw. I'm guessing it's to herself, as she is also part of the five, but who knows? So yeah, for now that's it. I'm still waiting on her color story to be released, and if you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys in the next one.